Welcome to Two Balls and a Mic. We are here in Chelas con Chavos at the Loyal Store, the shop here in Mission Valley. We won't get too much into what we're going to talk about because we're going to get right through it. We're going to go ahead and go from my left all the way around. Please, gentlemen, introduce yourselves and what your position is as padrino of the Chavos. We'll start with the gentleman to my left, which last time we saw you was after a Loyal loss. So it was very emotional. It's a different presidente this time. So please introduce yourself, man.
A much happier presidente this time. My name is Kevin Herrera. I'm the president of the Chavos, also known as El Jefe around these parts.
I'm Abel Herrera, no relation to Kev. We just magically have the same last name. I'm the VP.
Well, we don't know yet.
Oh, yeah, right? We don't even know, right? That's true. We'll probably do that blood test later on. A ver si somos primos o algo así. But I'm the VP for Chavos here.
Hell yeah.
My name is Adrian. I'm the padrino of the drums for Chavos. My pronouns are he, him, fool, big homie. You know,
like that.
You guys can, see me at the game. Any of those work.
Waste.
Adrian Waste, that's my old, punk rock stuff. But,
Hey,
that's still Adrian Waste.
Don't we have something coming up for
Yeah.
you?
What's today? Thursday. Tomorrow night, we're going to be at the Tutu Club over in City Heights on El Cajon Boulevard with all my homegirls out there. You know what's up. And, I'm just playing, music. I do a bunch of rock steady, a bunch of reggae, punk rock, all that kind of stuff. Some kind of like a pep rally party for us, So, if all locals, Rainbow Loyals, Chavos, anybody come out, meet and greet. I feel like we got to start, meeting each other and really, building relationships,
Exactly. I love that, man. We are here live, not live when you guys are watching this. Yeah, ¿qué onda, Chiva? Sí, güey.
Hola.
Sí, güey. Literally behind, we have a gentleman delivering flowers to the Loyal shop.
Are they from me?
No sé, vato. But I love this.
Hey, who are they from?
Atentamente,
I don't know,
Chelas
bro.
con Chavos.
Chelas con
atentamente.
Chavos. I was going to give you a sticker, but you left already, man.
It's para Landon.
Put on the boss.
Es-
Oh, sí, ¿verdad? And then and just take credit for whoever it is. Like, from Chavos.
Se me hace que fue del primer episodio porque desde ese momento Eloy empezó a echarle huevos o nos mandaron flores.
Sí, güey. So we were talking about that, right? So we did the episode at Machete, which was after the game. Estábamos medio 2x3.
Yo no.
Bueno, tú no. This is fine. But hey, since then, we had some very strong words. O sea, not necessarily talk shit, but like, very strong, loving words. O sea, como tu mamá cuando le robas el peso when you go for las tortillas and then you play maquinitas, but you're so good that you only need 1 peso, but then you die once. You ever play maquinitas en Tijuana?
No, en Mexicali.
¿En Mexicali? ¿Cuál era tu maquinita? Which was the game?
Street Fighter.
En el mic, compa, en el mic, compa.
Street Fighter.
And in the Street Fighter?
A huevo.
Who's your character?
I had many of them.
No me acabas el güey que vivió su maquinitas and you're a right-handed, but you did this.
No. You would do this.
Man. I'm always King of Fighters, bro. Me gustaba más esa madre. El King of Fighters con mi Beto, el Yori, Kim, and Ralph. Nos los chingábamos a todos.
Mine was Robert.
Oh, Robert? Oh, fuck yeah. Este pinche... ¿Cómo se llama? El You Get King. Yeah, sí. Anyway, this is different again. Because that's where we grew up on, right? Like going los abarrotes, veíamos los partidos sometimes because the guy at the tiendita was watching it and, they would be so into it.
That's for you guys.
Pues sí. Ay, sí, es que tú eras de playas. Eras niñito
Yo era de
popis.
playas,
You're
pro
from
Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments.
You had a security guard outside of your
No,
privado.
tampoco.
Oh, okay. But yeah, since then, Loyals turned it around. 2 home games undefeated here at home. They beat Las Vegas, who just beat Los Dos today or yesterday, 4-2.
4-3.
4-3. And then they played against Los Dos, a tough match, and they ended up le dieron la vuelta. Pinche Guido, güey. 20-some minutes, player of the week, team of the week. Trey Muse also on the bench for team of the week. So...
Güey, y yo le dije, güey, te tienes que ganar tu canto. Y como que dijo, órale, güey, ahí va.
A Guido. Le dijiste, you told him.
No, I didn't tell him, but last episode.
Yeah, you told him, like, you got to earn it, man. Sí.
And I felt
And he's definitely
has.
turned things around, dude, especially for the team. Missing 2 games and then just coming back off the bench, assisting and scoring. Doesn't get better than that, right?
En pocas palabras, me cayó la boca. Y ya.
Yeah, 100%.
Y es lo bueno, ¿no?
Sí,
Es lo
güey.
bueno.
Lo que me le decía el jefe, I told you guys yesterday, like, my thing was throwing away the trash. When I didn't do it, my dad would yell at me and decirme, ¿sabes qué? Cállame la boca. Just throw away the trash. Next time I won't tell you shit. So, good job, Guido, throwing away the trash and taking care of business. You guys have any thoughts as far as, like, how have you guys lived these 2 home games, right? Because this is still, you guys have only had 3 home games in your history, 4 if we're counting Costa del Este. If you want to start with Adrian, I heard that you had a, yikes. Hey, it's fine. Aquí lo que todo se vale, vato. Todo se vale, vato. But, you know, I heard that you had a drum thing happen because you were so excited last game. So how has it been with your hands? Give me an injury report if there's any. How are we doing with that?
Last week felt like I was on tour, because Saturday we played Phoenix, and we all got together, Creative Creature, for the watch party there. So we're playing drums and doing the whole thing there, and then Wednesday we take the bus to OC, and then we got the OC trip going on. So that felt like a home game, even though we weren't there. Because let's be real, who was there for Orange County? that was Torero Stadium North that night, you know. And you know, it got crazy again that day. And then, you know, a couple days later, Saturday, we're doing the game against Los Dos, and I took my snare out, and you know, we were just going crazy all night. And finally, I want to say by like the 80th minute or something like that, by the time we took the lead, my bottom snare head was broken, just busted out. Like the snares were rubbing it too hard or something, and it's done.
And I'm gonna say, whenever you guys are at the stadium or around the sports section, just look at around the drum line. These guys are going nuts and crazy, man, like crazy. Like,
and
we talk a lot.
I
think we talk a lot about the chanting, but we like these guys. What they do with the drums, going 90 plus on the drums, I think that takes even more energy.
Hey, you guys don't fucking stop. No se callan. No se callan. I think it was you on the last game where it was that you were saying, Chiva, like estos vatos no se callan, like, and you didn't mean it in a bad way. It
No, I
just
didn't
sounded
mean
like
it
that.
in a
Like,
bad way, yeah.
this was to shut the fuck up, which is great. Like, that's part of it, right? Like,
Exactly, yeah, and that was after,
win or lose.
That was after they scored the goal on us, and I was like, okay, they scored the first goal. Focus on the Chavos, that they do not shut the fuck up. Like, they're still chanting, they're still going, and that's part of it, right? That's part of being a supporters group. You gotta support them when they're winning, and especially when they're losing, right?
Las buenas y las malas.
Exactamente.
That's how it is. One of the things I wanted to ask Adrian, not putting him on the spot, but
Put him on the spot.
You know, popping the bottom snare, man. That's talent.
Yeah,
I don't know how that.
Explain that, right?
In
Explain
my
that,
years of
like-
drumming. Yeah, explain it.
So basically, the bottom of your snare has like with snares. They're little metal
beats,
strings
yeah,
that go
or
across. If you don't play drums, they're little metal strings that go across the bottom of the drum, and that's what makes the snare sound different from a tom or a bass or anything like that. Those little snares were rattling so hard on the bottom of the drum and were tightened up so tight that eventually, from being beaten that hard, it just ripped the bottom off.
Mira, güey, tenemos tecnología.
Ahí estamos.
There
We
you
have
go.
technology. This is
right,
the
hey,
difference
show
between
the
2
cursor.
balls and a mic and todos los otros cabrones es que podemos hacer esta madre porque el Chiva has really good credit, and he got us all this equipment. All right, so let's thank Chiva's credit card for this.
That's right. That's that
But yeah.
750 right there. Anyways,
Can your cursor go across, like, so if people are watching it, they can see?
so
See
yeah,
that? Yeah.
Okay, we helped them enough.
Okay,
Yeah, at this point, like, you do your part.
So that bottom metal part.
So that bottom metal part was vibrating so hard from all the hard hits on the drum that the drum head on the bottom said, fuck this, and ripped. And at some point I started to notice that it sounded different and that it just didn't sound like a snare no more. It sounded like a timbale drum or something like that. And then I looked underneath it and it was done. Yeah. So I grabbed a big tom drum and put it on my head for the rest of the game, and that's how we got it done.
That's how you do it as a drummer, man. Look at you.
Estás cabrón.
Congratulations on popping the first.
Yeah,
snare.
We
it's
always have backups.
I've done marching band, I've done punk
Yeah.
rock shows, I've done all kinds of shit in my life playing drums, and never ever have I busted the drum like that.
Yeah, like I said, that's talent. I've never seen that in my life.
A drum
Congrats,
buster.
man.
I
Congrats.
love that. If you want to see some of his drum busting talents again tomorrow night, Friday night, right? We have just that should be your thing. Just destroy all your equipment, Nirvana style. Just after every set, just fuck your instruments.
Yeah,
it's coming out of Kevin's pocket.
I mean, you know, when they want to start working with pyro more, we could set a whole drum on fire. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Hey, I'd be down for that.
What are we
See,
gonna-
Hendrix styles.
Yeah.
Hendrix at the Isle of Right. I like that. After Hey Dro. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, yo soy de esa madre, güey. I'm about that shit. All right? Even if we have John Cross in the back, he knows about Jimi Hendrix blowing up his guitar.
back.
Shout out to Soccer Shorts. Awesome. Doing a little piece on Chavos and two balls. I mean, this is crazy. I don't know if you guys saw my yo soy modelo, güey. Like, oh.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, fuck it, man, güey.
Oh yeah.
There's a shot of the sweatpants that I'm hyping everybody up because they were in there with the camera right here actually. Got up all up in there, man.
You know, Loyal's all inclusive, so they needed the chubby section.
Do you have it?
Speaking of, I do have it, but I don't think that's the time for it right now. Speaking of inclusiveness, right? So 619 Day coming up. They're gonna give away these awesome towels. They're gonna give out these pride flags as well.
So the towels are for the first 3,000 fans that show up, and I think for the Rainbow Loyals in Section 110, they're all gonna get one of those flags.
Hell yeah. And again, they let us know. Thank you, San Diego Loyal, for allowing us to be here and hacer desmadre. Shout out to everybody. They did let us know. They let us bring a barril. I don't think they let us bring a barrel, but you know what? It's here anyways, and we'll get into that, especially like what that means, right? Like, there's a lot of people that don't know what the barrel means. I asked somebody yesterday, hey, do you know what Chavo is? And they're like, yeah, it's that skeleton kid.
Let's get into that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down. So, okay, who came up with Chavo, right? I know we've talked about this, but we're going to go into a deep dive as to exactly what Chavo has to do, if anything, right, with San Diego Loyal, San Diego, the people that are creating this supporter group. De donde viene el Chavo? Was it just a matter of, ¿sabes qué? It was, the name came first with the logo and it just was perfect and then we built from there? Or what does Chavo mean to you, essentially, too?
Well, I was the one that thought of the name and thought of the crest. The Chavos de Loyal came from the word loyal, that it sounded like a ocho. So when we created this supporter group, it was for that kind of, to have that kind of more of a barra style, and we already, talked a little bit about that. So when I was, thinking about the word loyal, it sounded like a ocho. So I just put it together with Chavos de Loyal. And it was just one of those things I'm like, man, that would work so perfect because in all of Latin America, Chavo del Ocho is one of the freaking icons, right? Like in television. I know my dad grew up watching it. His dad probably grew up watching it. I grew up watching it. And hopefully future generations still watch it, even though they're not playing it anymore. But
have the animated show now. Sigue, esa madre sigue. Like,
yeah.
Even it's so relevant today. I mean, you can still watch that show y todavía te hace reír.
Oh,
yeah.
Como si lo estás mirando, like back then. Like, it's so relevant today. It's still good and it's funny because that's a laugh you share with your family.
And it's clean comedy.
Exactly.
It's like, you have a lot of the comedy now. It has to be raunchy. There has to be this. Same thing with American comedy. The Three Stooges were a thing, and that doesn't get that same laughs. It's the same type of physical comedy, pero te traía corazón.
Yeah.
And it always had a heart, right?
And it's relatable.
And a message, too.
So essentially, Chavo, is an orphan kid that lives in a barrel, that lives in the worst type of situation, una vecindad, in a, how do you say that in English? Una vecindad, apartment
like
complex,
apartment,
almost like an low end apartment complex, and this kid is so poor he lives in a barrel. Yeah. So that's that's the thing that gave him. He's number 8. Like, his apartment is number 8, but it's just his barrel.
Well, it actually started when they started the show. Chespirito started it, Chavo del Ocho, because they were on Channel 8.
Oh shit!
Then they went to Channel 10. Then went to Channel 10, and he had to think of a backstory to why he's Chavo del Ocho, so he put him on the apartment. So actually, the barrel was supposed to be his house. He was supposed to be a kid from the street. Yeah. But then they switched that over.
And I guess
and just to go back on how I thought of the crest, when I wanted to start a supporter group, I did think that I wanted to have a character to kind of represent us, like in a way where that character is gonna through whatever he does, whatever art he does is gonna represent what the whole supporter group represent and unites us in one. So that's kind of
and there's a Chavo in all of us, right? Mm-hmm. Todos somos chavitos, así crecimos, doing bad things or just messing around and having fun like he did. But in this case, it's turned into the football culture where the barrels are safe space, but the stadium's a safe space. That's our hogar, the stadium
Like
where
that.
Loyals play.
Yeah.
And then as we're in there, that whole thing's a vecindad. And I'm just re-quoting here Mark, because I know he was saying something about that a long time ago, and this is and then Kev as well. And this was a whole discussion we had in regards to, what the Chavo really represented us as the Loyal, but now he's the ultra Chavo,
And
hace más desmadre que nada, no?
Yeah.
And I remember an interview there was with Chespirito where he talked a little bit about the barril, why he used the barril. He said that as kids we always have one spot where if we're sad, if we're mad, if we're angry, we go to that one spot and like that's where we're calm at. And to Chavo, that was his barril. That's why he went in there. And we decided to add that to the crest because our barril is our section. It's us being in the bleachers, saying that's where we're like nothing else matters but us making that noise. And to us, that's our barril time. That's where we go in the barril. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the bigger concept of the barril, the San Diego, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
some
La
of us San
vecindad.
Diego-
It's,
yeah,
it's the bigger
yeah.
vecindad, right? Like
Yeah.
and that's the thing too with this thing. And I know you're going to say something, but like we all know the characters or somebody that's like the characters in the team. Like there's a character named Kiko, who's like the prissy little, o sea, el morro, o sea, que,
El chiqueado.
El chiqueado.
El chiqueado,
El chiqueado.
yeah. Mama's boy.
Mama's
Preppy
boy,
boy,
right?
yeah.
Chiva.
Exactly. El
Chiva.
chiva.
Arre ñoño,
Chusma.
And again, we'll get into it, maybe not completely today, but as we go forward, like you said, chusma, right? So like that's part of the lexicon of Spanish now. Like it's a nonce word that has no real meaning in the English language, in the Spanish language, in the dictionary, but it just became just part of what we say, right? And it's very few things in the world resonate so much with so many people, but I mean, wait, Chavo del Ocho has been around since the 70s, as you were saying, like desde hace rato, wait, and we're still watching it right now, and it still has really nice and awesome lessons.
And I think we're gonna show a video or no?
I mean, yeah. So I mean, well,
You saw people get a little taste of Chavo del Ocho,
so
and why
all
we
right.
find this so hilarious.
Don Ramon's probably me and still with the bucket hat.
Invítame a ver la tele. ¿Cuántos van?
2-0.
¿A favor de quién?
¿Del que lleva 2?
¡Ay! 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 ¡Ay!
Oh, San Diego Loyal's down 0-1. Oh no. Guido's coming on.
¡No, no!
Y pegó en el poste, güey.
Viene, viene, viene.
They're doing that Donovan kick when he was kicking that.
At Orange County last year. But tell me this wasn't us yesterday or last game.
Maybe we should make breaking plates like a new tradition every goal.
There you go.
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, breaking plates. Just, I mean, hacer desmadre, like the thing. And you guys have been bringing it. Is what I'm going to say though. Is something that back to the in-game performances from Chavos, right? It's in us, right? Football is within all of us, and again, going back to something like this, right? They're portraying children, and even the poorest of children, anybody who watches soccer, they're able to understand the game. They know what's happening. They know, like, hey, wait, you gotta shoot. Tírale, güey, tírale, güey. They'll become managers, like, and maybe that's something here that people didn't grow up on, and since kids they don't understand the game like that. But hey, there's no problem, and it's our job for the ones that do know to bring everybody else in.
That's why football is a worldwide sport. It can be played. I remember my grandpa telling me, like, oh, yo jugaba raíz en los files de pura tierra y ahora mira jugando en césped. And you just hear those stories and imagine, like, man, how far soccer has come. And then noticing, like I said, worldwide sport, and it's all these impoverished countries that are playing soccer, you know, but then it's growing up into different aspects within different regions as well. So it's growing. It's
Bro,
growing.
that's the beauty of soccer, right? You just need a goal and something to kick at it. It doesn't even have to be a
Yeah, it
ball.
doesn't
I've
have
played
to be a
with
ball.
cans. I've
I
played
was
with
about to say,
bottles.
can, yeah.
I've made soccer goals out of rocks in the middle of the street in TJ.
Yeah.
So,
De periódico, a veces lo hacían en México también.
yeah, exactly. So it's something that you can honestly play wherever, whenever, and it's not something that you need money for.
No, you don't.
Oh, you guys mean like making goals out of nothing, just
All
like
right, let's
this?
Oh,
Un marco, sí. ¿Y qué trae el otro? Vale, pues.
Las macetas, güey.
Yo empiezo, tú pagas y yo chuto.
That's not even your macetas. Es de la del vecino, güey. Chinga su madre, güey.
No, no. Mejor el portero de Italia. ¿El mejor? No, no. Mejor el portero de Alemania. No. El de Yolanda. No. El de Argentina. No. El de México. ¡Ah, ya cállate, 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 que me dejan!
That's, I mean, who were you? Were you more of a Chavo? Were you more of a Kiko, Ñoño? Personality? Were you always a Don Ramon? Like now, later?
I think I was more of a chavo.
You're more of a
Yeah,
Chavo?
yeah. More in the streets, yeah. More like the little things made me happy. So
Because like we all had that amiguito. Just like, you know, Chavo and Kiko, you really would think, right? They wouldn't hang together. Like one's a mama's boy, one doesn't have any parents, have anything, and the other one has everything. But still, that's the only friend that he has, and everybody else has to come into the vecindad. But literally, it's just him, Chilindrina, and Kiko. Did you guys have friends like that where you guys grew
yeah.
up?
That's what I'm thinking of. Like, there was always that one friend que, oh, mira que agarré. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, the
Mira
newest
lo
thing.
que agarré.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, dang, I wish I had that. Or
and you
he'd
had
be
the
riding,
old one, and he's like,
Yeah.
I already had that one.
or the bike that, you know, your grandpa made, and meanwhile he's riding that nice mongoose or a GT or something. You're
güey.
just like, yeah. But hey, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, I'd definitely say I was probably more on the Chavos side. I was out in the streets a lot, doing whatever we were doing back then.
Yeah.
In Barrio Logan, we were skateboarding, and we used to have these big dirt lots around Memorial Park where we'd go play and stuff like that. And you know, like you said, you know, you turn a baseball diamond into a field. You know, a lot of the how do you say, the older paisa homies, they'd be out there, and you know, they'd be, you know, showing me, you know, how to play and this and that, because, you know, I didn't really have a father growing up and stuff like that. So, you know, a lot of the community in that same way is who raised me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't just one solitary person in that way. It was, you know, I became a product of the neighborhood like that, you know, in that same way where you know everybody in that complex, you know everybody on that block, you know, and you're all just kind of communal that way. That's a lot of what, you know, my life was like and growing up. And that's why that was so relatable, you know?
And the thing about Chavo, Locho, the show itself, is like that's what it is, right? Like, you know, not to get into too many episodes, but like one that always sticks out to me is the Christmas episode. Chavo, being poor, hungry, orphan, all he wanted for Christmas was a torta de jamón. And he told that that's all I want for Christmas, una torta de jamón. And he would say, like, he would imagine it, he would this and that. At the end of Christmas, he didn't get anything. And all the neighbors were like, oh shit, like, what did you get, Chavo? This. Nobody gave him anything. And at the end of the episode, like, it turns out like everybody gets him like a torta de jamón. And so he's the happiest little kid of all. And that's all he needed, right? And like you said, the vecindad in the show took care of this kid essentially. And maybe when you're watching it as a kid, you don't register that. Like, you know, you don't see those type of things. But, you know, as you grow, you look back at some of these episodes and it's like, oh, like, you know, that's I know somebody who's like that, or that may be me now, or I see a kid who's like Chavo. You know, we work with kids. We see a bunch of chavitos that like get dropped off at the trolley station at 6 a.m. and then get picked up at 6 p.m. and they go back to TJ doing their homework on the trolley. And, you know, even then that was me. Like, I lived in TJ, came over every single day, and, you know, it's a completely different life.
Te compras la torta al Johnny, ¿no?
Yes. No, actually, like the border thing I love is the burritos. Like the burritos in the morning.
$1 ones.
The little dollar ones that are like this thin, like that's a burrito.
wrapped
Ah,
in
When I
that's
came
a
over
burrito,
here
yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, you want a burrito? Yeah, I'll take like 3."
They're
and like,
like,
what the
"Whoa."
fuck? 3? Like, no, like you'll be fine with one, and then they're forearm size. Like, esta madre qué es? Like, it's a torta de tortilla, güey. Like, I don't know.
But yeah, and then we talk about Chavo, and that's part of the Latino culture. And then we kind of decided yesterday we're gonna mention the Latino culture on today's podcast. So that's what I kind of want to get into right now. And what are your guys' expectations for the club itself when they start saying, "Oh yeah, we want to build that community with everyone"? You guys told us before that you guys are that bridge for that community.
Anybody could take it.
I mean, honestly, in the beginning, you know, the biggest thing for me because of all of this is that in the beginning when I started coming out to these games and like the meetups and stuff like that, you know, I didn't really know anybody. I was just kind of coming out by myself, and at first I kind of felt like, I don't know, like an outsider. You know what I mean? Like even if I were to join the locals or whatever, it just didn't really feel like I fit. And that's not to say anything, you know, negative about anybody, but that's just, you know, how I felt at the moment. And when Kev and Mark first came to me and we're talking about, you know, Chavos, as soon as they said the name, it was just like, fuck, that's it, bro. Like I've been trying in my head to think about how we're gonna do this and how we make ourselves more inclusive in this without stepping on toes. And that was just like perfect when I heard it. And the thing that's made me so happy about this is it feels like now that one person has kind of, you know, put their hand up and said, I want to be included. It feels like we all can, you know, put our hand up and say, I want to be included. So now it's not just the Latino diversity that you're starting to see in the team. It's, you know, it's everybody coming out, you know, and that's what's beautiful now is to see how just a couple people saying we want a seat at the table has now made it that, you know, everybody can be themselves at these games, you know what I mean? And everybody can feel represented. Whatever, you know, despite whatever background you're coming from or whatever, we all are part of this team now. And it's really rad to see how that's all organically happened.
Have they done enough?
There's
There's
a long way to go.
There's a loaded question, right?
No,
and,
yeah.
and we're here literally in the belly of the beast. And thank you again, San Diego Loyal, for letting us be in here and allowing us to be the first podcast in San Diego to do a podcast here with video.
Yeah.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah.
That's all there's a lot of, like you said earlier, we're trying to bridge that gap, but even us, we struggle sometimes to get the, you know, the Latino input or even other, to include other races within our group as well, but trying to bridge that gap, not only for us, but other people, but it's even hard just for the Latinos, you know? So I know Loyal as itself, there's a lot more that needs to be done in regards to, you know, just painting murals. There needs to be other additional things that needs to be done, more outreach. The list can go on, but I know they're getting there, and I know they're trying. Trying is the key word instead of not doing. So we'll get there, or they'll get there.
And things take time, right? Like, again, the whole pandemic happened, kind of pushed everything back. But you always want to see them like that they're actually trying and they're trying their best. And I ask you, Kevin, like, what do you see Chavos in 5 years along with Loyal, or what do you want from Loyal in, say, 5 years?
In 5 years. Oof. And
One championship at least.
At least a championship. No, that's valid.
No, yeah,
it's a
that's
very
for
valid
everyone.
thing.
Yeah.
And I'll let you marinate on that question. And it's a valid thing because for us, like the people who understand the game, like to a core, who've been watching it as a kid, that understand triangulations from the get-go, there's the morritos que esto, that understand the offside rules and didn't have to get explained more than once. Like, you're going to win us over with the play on the field. All of this extracurricular activities that you're doing with the community is fantastic. I love it. You could still do more, and anybody can do more. The question is also like, when is more enough? But even then, there is, you know, there's a long way to go, as you say. But you know,
It's that feeling of starting 0-4, right? like that feeling was horrible.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude, like,
Wait,
is this what our
but that
team's
keeps us
gonna be?
humble.
Is this what our team's gonna
Keeps
be?
us humble.
Tu jefe, güey. Like, tu jefe ve Liga MX and he was like, oh, did you watch Loyal game? ¿Pa qué, güey? Maletas, güey. Like, to be honest, and because until the product is on the field, we're not
Exactly.
going to really care.
Keyword trying. They're trying.
Trying.
You know, trying.
So sorry, Kevin. Going back 5 years, Chavos.
No, 5 years from now, well, obviously, I don't want to be having this conversation. I want this crest to be exactly what it is. It was meant to be, San Diego. So in 5 years, I want this crest to be like when you see it, that's straight up San Diego. It represents San Diego in every way. We shouldn't be having this conversation 5 years from now. I hope not, right? And then as far as Chavos goes, Chavos, I mean, we're taking it as the beginning of something here in the United States, a different way of supporting. Yeah, we get a lot of styles from Europe. We get a lot of styles from Mexico, from Argentina. But we always bring it together and give it that Chavo vibe. And we always talked about the Chavo being a gender of supporters, you know, using the Spanglish, using different things, mixing sounds. These guys are amazing at mixing sounds, either from Europe, slow chants, fast chants, Spanish chants. And I want us to be like that gateway kind of to other supporters to be proud of this way of supporting, our way of supporting, you know?
And it can be very unique, as you said, because like Spanglish, like it or not, o sea, es parte de San Diego, right? Like that's part of it. You know, my parents still speak more Spanish than English, and they've been here on this side for so many years, right? But you know, at the end of the day, it's become ingrained in our culture. People who don't know, like norteños, northern Mexican people like us, get shit talked by like sureños. Pinches pochos, this, dicen esto, que no sé qué.
It's like in the movie Selena, you know, that's that said it best. Like we're too brown for the American people, and then we're not Mexican enough for the Mexican people. We're like, we have to be good for both people, and we gotta speak English, we gotta speak Spanish perfectly, and it's hard, honestly. So Spanglish is kind of like our outlet of letting it out of who we truly are.
Yeah, exactly.
So since we're on that topic, is this brown enough? We're talking about the loyal.
Look, to be completely honest, and I know there's a lot of discussions around it, even with you guys, right? Like the whole loyal, even other names that were out there, and we all know, and you know, Leal was one of them, I believe, or some Latin variation of loyal. For me, I didn't come to realize that what the team was named up until I saw the Twitter account and I saw everything once it was already announced, right? I was with Soccer City. I had connections with some of the investors, like personales, y que pues le echamos ganas. No se pudo, pues that's fine. Like the Chargers couldn't get it done. We're not going to get anything done here. But like I came into Loyal not knowing the backstory. They could have named it this. They could have named it that. I just said, I'm going to take it and run. Now learning everything that I've learned and learning that there was other options, and then there was, you know, intentional conversations had about the team name and the team identity. I think at this point, it's going to be up to us to decide what it's going to be, because, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this. And I'll say it here. I didn't want the club. I didn't want anybody that's surrounded with and associated with to tell us, nosotros, or anybody else what to feel about the club, because you're here in San Diego. What's up? You're representing us. Thank you. We really appreciate that. But at the end of the day, we're cheering San Diego, and that's never going to change. And if we make it to where this actually means something, that's on us. On the field, ¿sabes qué? You guys can do whatever you want, and we're going to be cheering. Just don't piss us off. And if you do, learn from it.
Yeah. So like that was meant as a question to you guys, because I don't think I've heard what you guys thought of when you guys first saw the crest and saw the name.
First thing I saw, honestly, is it's gonna be a white man's team, and 1904 was more for the raza. And after being able to see Loyal play and the community and meeting you guys, I thought, you know what, this is actually it has so much potential for it to not just be for one type of people, but for everyone, like Mexicans, Asian community, literally everyone. And that's what excites me about this team. And that's why I told Tony, at first I told Tony, hey, you know, I don't know if we should stick too much to talking about San Diego Loyal. And he told me, give him a chance. Like, it'll be good. And now I'm like, you know what? You were right. It's paying off. It's great. Like, I'm enjoying it so much. When you ask me, is it brown enough? I'm like, you know, I would like to see more Latino players in the team. We have Guido. We had Rubin last season. We have Miguel Berry.
Jordan
Chavez.
Austin.
Austin, but I would like to see a little bit more, like Mexican-born players y que la selección agarre uno. Imagínate eso, ¿no? Que, hey, este vato jugó en San Diego, luego ponte Alfonso Davis for Canada.
La selección mexicana, right?
Yeah, selección mexicana,
Okay,
papá. No, sí,
yeah, just making sense.
Sí.
Just making sure we're in the cathedral of Landon Donovan. So just wanna make sure.
Viva México. No dije el cabrón ese. ¡Ah, la madre!
Wait, imagine ahorita sale ese güey. Like, what's this? My second favorite team's being
La
mentioned.
porra de salud.
Okay, so I mean,
I think that's important, right? To know
Yeah.
like what, like I always kind of ask people, especially Latinos, what they, thought of when they first saw the crest.
Mm-hmm.
I was there at the crest reveal.
Yeah.
I was there.
You saw this.
Yeah.
This is how they revealed it.
Yeah,
This is
they
actual
revealed
thing.
it. This is the thing, at the time you're like, yeah, San Diego looks pretty cool. You're in the moment. You're there. You're vibing off everybody. So at the moment, you're just thinking like, damn, that's awesome and can't wait. Then it starts settling in. Oh, that's a lot of colors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the name. Oh, but then you look at the back of the paper and you see, oh, this is what this means. This is what that means. It gives you a proper explanation of what the crest is. So I agree with that, But then again, going back to it, it's like, well, it'll do for now. And it's gonna do.
How do you say it in Spanish?
Leal.
No, phonetically. Because again,
This.
yeah,
I've heard loyo. Oyo. Like it sounds like
it
oil.
sounds like oil.
Oil.
Like, and that's a
Oil.
that's a thing that we're tripping on, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like,
when he came up and said, "Oh, Chavos del Hoyo," I was like, "Oh, Chavos
del
del Hoyo,
Hoyo.
del Hoyo."
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
the field, you're in the hole. It's the field. And he's like, "No, del Hoyo." I was like, "Oh, okay, I get you." So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's why we won't be using Spanish chants. That's why.
I mean, for me, I was at the kit reveal, or not the kit reveal, the logo reveal the first day, and I remember when they showed the promo video and they pulled this thing out, and I instantly felt like there was mixed reviews. Like I think they were expecting everybody to just lose it and be like, "Yes, this is the greatest name in the world," and everyone was kind of like, ah. There was even a moment where you kind of had to see Landon like kind of hype people up, like, let's get a video of everybody yelling San Diego Loyal, and it was like, let's do it again because you guys didn't get into it the first time.
Yeah.
Everyone was so like mixed on it at first, and the big thing for me was when I saw the video, I was like, ah man, they went soccer club, like, you know what I mean?
yeah, interesting.
I really wanted it to be like
FC?
Atletico San Diego or like
Okay.
fucking or something, SDFC. I don't, something that had more of that flavor to it, And when they came out with with soccer club and it had the beach theme and with the waves and like the mission architecture on it, I was like, it feels like something I've seen before here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It feels like the type of things that the soccer community in San Diego and things like that have kind of already tried to do. But at the same time, I tried my best to stay optimistic because I was like, I've rode this roller coaster with these guys since Soccer City. This already, San Diego already means so much to me in that, aspect that I want this to work out. And that's when I started racking my brain, like, how do we do this? How do we make this our own? How do we have a crest and a style and a flavor that, is our own? And like I said, lo and behold, this dude comes out of left field and, with a brilliant idea. And, now here we are kind of paving that way a little bit, if not definitely not something that I feel like is going to take over this, but, I feel like we can all be hand in hand for sure,
And the thing too is like
build.
5 de 5.
cinco. Yeah.
5 de 5. I mean,
Yeah. And the thing is,
that tells a lot.
yeah, this is what we have. Okay, like and it's not so much that these guys are talking shit about the club. Okay, no. If anything, look. We're the ones that've been there. We've put money into season tickets.
Ahorita volteamos la tortilla.
Exactly, and it's just to give perspective of where it's coming from, right? Because
I'm not breaking my drums for no one else, right?
yeah, exactly. And the thing about it is that tampoco nos podemos poner nuestros moños. Like we can't be like, look, there's a soccer club here. That's something that we have been asking for. This region's been needing. Again, mentioning the other team, which has already been mentioned once here, but we're in the Cathedral of Landon, so I don't want to bring up 1904 second time.
Soakers? Or
También los soccer. See, it's a different sport.
Oh, okay. Sockers, yeah.
It's a different sport. But again, it's taking action. You guys took action and saying, okay, we have this. What are we going to do with what we're given? And so far, I think that, you know, Chavos and you guys in the community, and again, también vamos a decir los locals, give them the credit too. Like, they've also embraced it, even with, you know, some mixed reviews as well. But it's San Diego's team, and that's beyond anything else is what's going to take us, you know, forward. It's San Diego's team. Sea soccer club, sea football club, sea Atlético, sea esto, it still says San Diego. And that's the important part. And you know,
And that's where we flip the tortilla.
that's
right?
where we
The bun.
flip the tortilla.
And pues, especialmente para la raza que todavía no puede porque supuestamente por el logo, por todo, porque el branding que no le llama, no representa lo que representa San Diego. Okay, ese es o cuando nosotros tenemos que poner pie frente y empezar algo y representar a San Diego como queremos. Por eso es una parte grande de porque aquí está Chavo, porque quisimos nosotros no nomás estar atrás y ver todo pasando. Esta es nuestra ciudad, esta es pasión por nuestra ciudad. Y no nunca se va a sentir igual si lo haces en Los Ángeles, en Orange County. Si lo haces en tu propia ciudad, los cantos se sienten más bonitos.
Yeah.
Más bonitos.
100%.
You needed to put some motivational music when he was saying that, man. That's touching.
Yeah, and for those of you that are Spanish challenged, well, too bad, so sad. I'm not going to make a translation for that. I'll let you know in person. Come and ask me, or come and ask one of the chavos what that means. Just ask them personally what this culture means to them, because it means a lot. And for you guys to put time, money, effort, and everything else says a lot too, because we believe in the project. We believe in the project, and I'm looking at the TV. Look at that! Like, they just had everybody up there. Not now, but they had everybody up there, echándole porras. Like, that's part of it, right? Like, you guys are here to be your own group. Chavos de Loyal. Anybody can come in. Talk me a little bit with the relationship with the locals, right? Because I know you and Presidente Steve have been talking at some of these watch parties. Like, you know, not necessarily why should people choose Chavos, because look, we're part of both, right? That's not necessarily that's not what you're going for. It's not a competition. You're all there for to be the same porra, and I think that's what needs to be understood throughout. Is people are like, well, what's this? What's that? Like, at the end of the day, it's a collective porra. It's a collective cheer squad for Loyal. Sure, there's sub-segments through there, but, you know, what's the difference and what is the brand of porra and supporter group that Chavos is?
No, I mean, I guess the relationship is pretty good. We're still learning about each other, especially from both of the porras being new. They're still learning about themselves. We're still learning about ourselves, how we're growing, and we're learning about working together. I think that's the main thing that we're learning on. I do want to say we are independent of each other, so they make their decisions on their side. We make our decisions, and come game day, like you said, though, we're one in that section, and it's all to cheer on our boys on the field, you know. But the relationship has been good. I mean, communicating all the time, and you know, showing up for setups and stuff like that, and just being on the same page. I think both groups want the same thing, right? To grow this culture in our city, and I think together we're going to be able to do it, not only with them, but with Rainbow Loyals and with everybody else that comes along.
Yeah, and that's apparent, right? Like, you guys have your songs, you guys have your chants, you guys have this. What do you say to those people that, you know, are hesitant, right? That, you know, maybe there is that language barrier, that want to be in there, they want to be part of it. Maybe, you know, you're the one with the drums, man. You're the one that's like making the most noise, and I would hope that at least the people who are sitting around you respect the fact that you're out there busting your ass with that drum, with your voice, with everything. Like, even sacrificing watching the game, because that's important too. Because sometimes you have to be, you know, just different hats at different times, and you might not enjoy the game as much as you can because you're there alentando, echando porras, being loud.
I get home and watch the highlights because in the game, I don't know what the fuck's going on most of the time. Like, I know we scored, or I know we scored sometimes, and I know we win and lose. That's about it.
And it's just not like chanting. It's just not like it's not like we close our eyes and chant. It's just a lot of things that go on, a lot of signals that get thrown. I mean, there's so much noise that it's like I can't really say, hey, this one, you know. I have to signal. There's people down, there's people up, and then there's the drummers, which they have a big drum in front of them with a thump. They can't hear what I'm saying, even if I'm from here to John. Probably they still can't hear me, you know.
What I would say to anybody else in the locals or just in the stands or anything like that is just, you know, don't be afraid to try the salsa, dog. You know what I mean? I know it's a little hot, and I know it's a little intimidating. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a little spicy sometimes, but, you know, it's going to be better than you think. I promise. You know what I mean? I promise that we're only here to try to make this whole experience for everybody better. I'm not, you know, we're not trying to segregate anybody or trying to, you know, block anybody else's, you know, hype or clout or anything like that in this. But at the same time, you know, we're trying to offer you something a little bit different than maybe what you're used to or maybe what you guys thought you guys were going to do as a supporter group. And I think you'd be pleasantly surprised to see what it's like. You know what I mean? Like I said, I know sometimes the language barrier for people can be a little crazy. You know, don't feel bad or don't be shy if you know if you feel like you're not pronouncing all the words to the chants right. Shit, dude, I'm OG Pocho. My Spanish is honestly fucking terrible. Like, I understand you 10 times better than I can speak to you, but that doesn't keep me from, you know, from putting myself out there. Maybe my accent don't sound good, maybe, you know, whatever it might be, but, you know, I'm gonna put it out there for everybody in both languages, you know. So if you're intimidated, look at me and know that you can still do, you know, all of this, you know what I mean? And on the same side, I'm trying to help the locals with what they're trying to do. You know, they've come to me with chants and with things like that, and it's like, let's fucking do it. You know what I mean? Let's get chants and vibes and everything that everyone's gonna go in on. You know, I'm here for everyone, but at the same time, I'm also here to show you what I can do. You know, and what we have to offer to the whole thing.
Absolutely. And again, like, mumble it if you don't know it.
Yeah, if you don't know it, keep the tune. Keep the tune.
Hum it.
Or replace
That's
it with
it.
beer, just like brother. Replace everyone
Or
with beer.
clap, or still be jumping, so at least it looks good. Because, I mean, from afar, people are more looking at you guys and saying, oh, those guys are having a fucking great time. And
Yep,
then,
because if you don't, I'll be mad dog. You're like, yo, you better start fucking chanting. No, I'm just kidding.
He'll take his drum and, you know, drum next to you. Right next to your ear. That way you learn, right?
We should start he's not chanting, and everybody points at
That's actually, I love that. I love that. Actually, yeah, let's.
You know, and
Not necessarily to like bully either, just like, hey,
yeah, of
échale
course.
ganas, cabrón. Like,
Yeah,
échale
and
huevos.
if you're going to sit in 109, you better be chanting,
I was about
right?
to say,
I think
it's
that's
like-
important. Yeah.
Yeah, Section 109, it's like, it's not a cheap seat. It's there. You're there to stand the whole time. If you want to
Yeah.
sit, watch it from home, or I'm not supposed to say that. Buy membership in the regular seating areas. Just
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
just-
Yeah, so for this game, I'm gonna do the fan experience, kind of like Tony last week. So I'm actually taking my dad and my sister for Father's Day weekend, you know. And knowing my dad, he's not gonna want to sit and stand the whole game. So I bought tickets on 103 because I know he's gonna want to see. Oh, like I like seeing the game from the middle, and I get that. So that's why whenever I'm by myself, I'll be with 109 for sure. But then I want him to see what locals and Chavos, especially Chavos, is about. So that way he starts getting into it, starts watching the games, because he's such a huge soccer fan. And for him to tell me, I'm not getting into it, I'm like, dude, come on, give him a chance. So I want to take him to the games so he can experience the whole thing.
And there's different football fans. You know,
Oh, yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
los que miran, los que echan porra, you know, there's a difference. And then there's some that just get shit-faced, right?
Yeah.
I think from the beginning, when we started this, we said 90 plus, right?
90 plus.
And so if you're one of those persons
90
like,
plus.
man, these chavos don't shut up.
Good.
that-
A
yeah.
huevo. A huevo.
That's what we're there for. To make
Cortamos
noise. We
las
never shut
manos.
up.
Exactly. And
Take our sticks away.
And look, it was 33%. I don't think it was 33%. I think it was a little bit more than 33% this last game. But across the stadium, right? Like, you know, some of the chants some of the chants were going throughout the stadium too. Like the regular attendees were also participating, especially after the game was tied with the goal from Guido. Pinche golazo, güey.
I heard the
Pinche
people in the
golazo.
dorms were complaining that it was loud. Nah, I'm just playing.
Better.
Your neighbor's
There's
worst
nobody
nightmare.
there. Yeah, there's nobody there right now. Yeah.
True.
That's true.
The malos padres. The priests that are still there, you know.
So, you guys have a couple challenges, right? Because again, you guys have un papel que hacer. O sea, you guys are there to cheer and to be loud and to be as loud as you can to support Loyal. Coming up, you guys have a couple of interesting matchups as far as off the field and in the stands. This Saturday, 619 Day, Juneteenth. Let's not forget it is Juneteenth.
It's an official holiday.
It's an official
As of
holiday.
today.
As of today, it's very important to recognize that it is Juneteenth, 619 for here on out. So fantastic news. But in that same day, 100% capacity, they are letting, I believe, 80 Bandidos, Phoenix fans in.
Who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones. 281-330-8004. Call Mike Jones. Yeah.
No, I get you.
But yeah, so
Ardidos.
Los Ardidos.
Oh,
Ooh,
Ardidos.
there
Okay.
you go. I love it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I know.
So okay, Los Ardidos
You gotta
are
translate that, man. Come on.
coming back. Not back. They've never been here. So what are you expecting from you guys, and how are we gonna make sure that it doesn't sound like there's even 10 of them in the stadium?
Well, from us, we're gonna bring the noise like we always do, even louder, because we're gonna be full capacity, right? So if you guys thought what we have been doing was loud, this was gonna be way more. And then from them, we're expecting AO chants. So
Yikes.
You know, there's gonna be that challenge.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're gonna be chanting. We're gonna be chanting, but we want to be the louder ones. We're gonna go 90 plus, as we said.
Do you guys know
Even
where they're
before.
sitting?
They should be sitting outside.
I like that.
Somewhere like 110, something like that. Like
To the left of us.
yeah, stage.
Oh.
To the left,
We're like right
left
here,
up.
and they're
So,
like gonna be
is there a
like
protocol in
stage
case shit goes down?
Hmm?
Is there a protocol that you guys have talked to everyone, like in case shit goes down? Like, people are gonna be drinking, people are gonna get heated, because especially when we start winning the game.
Don't throw things on the field. I've been told, do not
Yes.
throw things
Yes.
on the field.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yes. Yes, because then we get generalized.
Don't throw
Yeah,
them on the
because
field.
then we
Yeah,
get
then we-
generalized
yeah.
of like, van a ser los pinches chavos who started throwing shit on the field and this and that. And that's happened a couple times that we talked about, right? Like there's
Yeah.
certain things that's like, okay, why are you telling the brown guys, hey, this happened? Or hey, did you hear this guy with this certain goalkeeper chant? It's like, oh, okay, that's just the independent and a wild transient that's over here. You guys could take care of that. But, you know, that's important to know that, you know, the Chavos also have a disciplinary code, a way of being. So there's rules, right? You can't just go up and say whatever the hell you want, but there's an expectation. There's an expectation set.
I think the big thing this Saturday is going to be working to get the entire section with us. You know, as loud as we've been, there's definitely some moments where, you know, there's probably half the section, you know, everybody's catching their breath or having a drink or doing whatever. I think this match is the big importance is going to be having the entirety of us all really working in unison, because that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to come here and, you know, treat themselves like one big group and, you know, try to outsound us and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that everybody here is working together. I think once we get that whole section together and people kind of see, you know, how crazy that's going, like you said, it's gonna start traveling. It's not just gonna be us in the section. It's gonna be the people across the field. It's gonna be people in other sections. You know, I think that energy is contagious, but we have to really put on a show in the 109 to start showing everybody that that's what we expect out of everybody here, you know, on game day like that.
And it should definitely be an exciting match. But again, I think we got to start wrapping things up, because they're about to kick us out of this store, right?
Wrapping things up. I'm gonna get the pinche niño de acá atrás, güey, because this was fucking loud as hell. So like, I'm gonna put this kid in 109 too, bro. Recruit him. But yeah, so as Shiva said, we're gonna have to wind it down, because again, we are guests here at the Loyal Shop. Thank you.
Gracias.
La troconona.
Gracias.
Hey, cuh, what's up, cuh?
La mamalona acá.
Mamalona, cuh. But yeah, I mean, this is fun. The fact that they let us be in here is awesome. And we plan on doing more of these throughout the season, throughout the year, because again, we want to get the word out about what Chavos is, what they really stand for, what we stand for. And if there's still people that don't quite understand, ask people. Ask somebody, what is Chavo? Go watch an episode. You'll get it. You don't speak Spanish, you'll get the physical comedy. You'll get the intent. You'll understand it. But I'll start on this side. Do you have any last words to come on to let the people know?
Just let us know what you guys want to know about Chavos. What do you guys want to see from us? if you guys want to learn more about the Chavo del Ocho, actual character, that's something we could talk about. Yeah, feel free to ask us anything, whatever you want to know. And like Tony was saying, we'll get into the more of the background of the whole culture and us individually. And yeah, he will share events here and merchandise and stuff like that, drops that we're going to do. So look out.
Yeah, surprise merch right there. But no, hey, we're open book. We're an open book. There you go. No, let it fold out. Oh. There you go. We're an open book. Ask questions. Don't hesitate to hit us up on social media. If you see us out there during the game, after the game, before the game, if you magically know where we live, don't come to us there. But no, but seriously, just ask us questions. We want to be as inclusive as possible, and we want to invite you. As our scarf says, historia. We're trying to build history here, familia. We're trying to build that family. Yo, God, we have that home here in San Diego. So,
Friday night.
Yeah, first off, tomorrow, Friday night, come see your boy. I'll be over at Till Club. I'm gonna plug myself real quick. It's gonna be all night, man. 8 o'clock till close. We back. We vaxxed. We ready to do this. So, come by, have a couple cocktails, support my favorite local bar, Till Club. And, and like I said, come meet your fellow SG member. I think we need to start having more events like this.
Yeah.
Where, that aren't just so, football related, where it's like we're getting to know one another more on a personal level. Shout out to all my chavos. Shout out to the drum god, Eric. Shout out to Davey. Shout out to all the other fools on the drums. Shout out to Local. Shout out to Steve. Shout out to
You really are a DJ.
Jerry.
I love this.
Yep. And then that shout out Rainbow Loyals. Shout out all my peoples over there. We all out here. We're all one. I can't wait.
Shout out to your patience.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to my man's patience out there.
Appreciate it.
I love everybody that I've met through this whole venture, and I can't wait to, make more memories with everybody out here, and that's it. That's my politically correct answer to everything.
Let's go loyal.
Yeah.
Let's go loyal.
Let's go loyal.
Vamos, cabrón.
Hey,
Let's
shout
beat
and
Phoenix.
also real quick, I hope everybody from Phoenix enjoys your vacation here in San Diego, because we all know Arizona sucks right now. I mean, it sucks always, but
Always sucks.
enjoy it,
Always
baby.
sucks.
Enjoy the beach.
So just remember, guys, we are giving 2 home tickets for every home match. We're going to do it on Saturday at Bridge Parkada 8:30, King of the Court style. And then we're going to have a challenge for those winners. And you get to sit with the Chavos and enjoy the game for 619 Day. And shout out to Tacos El Vaquero over on 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista. And thank you guys for watching, man. Chelas with Chavos.
Sounds good.